you pass down and see all the beggars here, they are black. And everyone who's going to serve you at a restaurant tonight when you go is black. Everyone who cleans the toilet you're going to go to is black all over the world. And it's because we have missed these moments, crucial, critical moments that are divinely given to us to interpret in order not to selling our people out, not to sell our people out.
Greetings, everyone. I hope you are fine. I hope you are doing well. And I will appreciate if you can just smash that subscribe button, that like button, like never before. I would like to start off by saying I just want to apologize in advance for frequently mentioning this organization, which is African National Congress. The reason I say this is because many people are offended every time I mention this organization, which is African National Congress. And I would like to say again, I'm not a political analyst because I'm a very biased person, especially when it comes to politics. Even if I can accumulate the credentials of being a political analyst, I don't think there's any organization or any institution that can request my services because I'm just a bit biased when it comes to politics, because I'm always in defense of my people who are suffering, my people who are struggling, because there are many people that I know who are living in squatter camps. Some of these people are close to me. They've been living in these squatter camps for a long period of time. I have many people I know who are very much living in poverty, who are unemployed. Some of these people are very frustrated. And then as a result, it touches my heart. So that is why I'm a very biased person. And I'm not against people who voted for African National Congress, because many of those people are from my communities, and they live in such situations. They live in poverty. They are struggling. It's just that sometimes it might take time for me to convince those people or to reach those people and make them understand what history is all about. But right now, I just want to ask you to listen to what Advocate Sikhakhane had to say on EFF podcast. I give credit to EFF podcast.
What do you think the GNU, the so-called GNU, will do to the democratic South Africa?
You know, the GNU is a continuation of a compromise, a betrayal of our people, recycling what failed for the past 30 years. That's what the GNU is. It will do nothing except prolong for another 30 years. If you and me can tolerate this GNU, you and me and everyone in this room, we must know we will die and leave South Africa and black people in the squalor and conditions they live in, and we are tolerating it. It's something to prolong the compromise that happened. You know, the ANC had a choice. The ANC, in fact, I saw a clip by Professor Bonang Mohale who says something so profound about this, which is something I've been trying to say about this GNU. You know, the ANC could have gone with MK and would have 55% nationally. Had they done so, they chose not to. The ANC could have gone with the EFF and would have had an MK and other black parties, the ATM, the UDM. And no, who did they choose? They chose former colonial powers, because this is a script. It's a political script to make sure that white power remains. And so the GNU for me is a recycling of the very problem that brought us here, the very compromise, the very selling out that brought us here. The ANC and others had a choice. There are enough black parties, including the PAC, that could have formed a majority, but they chose not to because they fear angry white people. We don't want to, we will rather face black people who are angry and poor and whose lives are nothing. We don't mind that. But we don't want a situation where white people feel upset. And that's why this GNU represents that psychosis, what I call a psychosis that we suffer as black people of. We can't tolerate hurting a white person. We'll rather hurt our own. This GNU was not necessary. And it's not a GNU. It's a coalition with a white colonizer.
Is it constitutional?
There are elements of this that are not constitutional. You know, we are told, I did a case once where Zuma had reshuffled cabinet.
In life, there'll always be those people who are always ahead of you. That is why you need to be careful of your surroundings. So in South Africa here, the system is always ahead of us. Because this thing is just like, for an example, a written script. The program is there. So we have to live by this program. Everybody has to abide by this program. So in other words, at the end of the day, is the continuation of the system. That is why I always believe in unity. I always believe in unity of Africa. But right now, I just want us to focus on the unity of South Africans. Me personally, I think it's going to take a long time to have a single political party that cares about people to run South Africa, that cares about black people, to be specific, to run this country. That is why I believe that in a medium term or in a short term, or let me just put it in this way, I believe that we can take a shortcut. We can take a shortcut, and it may not be good for everybody, but we can take a shortcut. Like, for an example, we can have a coalition government that consists of all these political parties that care about people. It's just that we need numbers. I know that MK, ATM, EFF, and other political parties have differences, even though they have this progressive caucus agreement, but they have their own differences as well. But I believe that if we take this shortcut, we can put those differences aside and say, you know what, let's just prioritize our people. And thereafter, we can just keep on opposing one another. But as long as we are in government, and every time we go to elections, we'll keep on contesting against one another. But as long as we have government, because it's gonna take time, because we have to keep on voting. We have to keep on waiting for another 5 years. So right now we have people who are now we have to focus on 2029. Yes, it's a fact. There's absolutely nothing we can do. But I think right now we have to plan differently. And some people might say we should do everything without politics. But we have to understand right now, these politics and the government is a stumbling block to our total freedom. So I agree with Advocate Sikhakhane that it's going to take time. It's going to take 100 years. It's going to take 200 years if we are not careful, because if we keep on allowing this continuation. And again, the other thing that makes or that allows this continuation of the system is that every time we go to the elections, there are new political parties that are formed. There are new political parties that are formed. In other words, you can go back to, for an example, 2009 elections. New political parties emerged. 2014, 2019. In other words, new political parties keep on coming. And most of these political parties, it's all about dividing like the numbers of black people, because if these numbers are divided, they are only not divided in numbers, they are also divided in policies, because most of these newly formed political parties, they only care about inclusivity. Their policies is all about like they have a dream, and that dream will never be accomplished. So that is why they end up clashing with the policies of like political parties like EFF and maybe Umkhonto weSizwe and others. So that is why I believe in this shortcut, that we can take this shortcut to say, you know what, let's unite. Let's unite, even if we disagree, even if we cannot form a single political party, but let's unite. But because now we can see that the politics of South Africa are shifting to a point whereby now we might find ourselves having, like, for an example, two sides, which is the left side and the right side. And we can take advantage. We can take advantage by saying, you know what, even if we have our own differences, but for the sake of our people, we can come together, just so that we can be in government and give our people what they want. Thereafter, we can just keep on disagreeing on certain policies and so forth and so forth.
And I think the ANC was correct in its analysis. Well, not the ANC, some people who were saying, but the president has a constitutional duty to do this without interference by anybody. You know, so there's something a little unconstitutional with. And this comes from people who've been telling us they are constitutionalists. I don't know whether you've seen this term. Now, everyone who criticizes this constitution is called an anti-constitutionalist. We are being told by people who are part of apartheid. So I think a lot could have been done differently. You know, one of the things I want to just end this with, it was an important moment. You know, our lives, private and public, political lives, are punctuated by critical moments, and this is done by God maybe, that at different parts of our private and public lives, there are moments, and those moments are great moments of pain and precarious situations. Interpreted objectively, which is what we were to do here, to reverse what happened. They give us a signal of where we should go, and we've missed it here. And we've taken our people on a path of another 100 years of subjugation. And I think we needed to reverse it. And we failed once again, as we did during slavery, as we did during apartheid. And we had an opportunity now for black people to demonstrate that they loved themselves. But no, we chose a white party to work with. And I think that is an indictment on our psyche, on the psyche of our leaders, on what preoccupies them. And that is what makes you, as you leave today, go home, and you pass down and see all the beggars here, they are black. And everyone who's going to serve you at a restaurant tonight when you go is black. Everyone who cleans the toilet you're going to go to is black all over the world. And it's because we have missed these moments, crucial, critical moments that are divinely given to us to interpret in order not to sell our people out, but we miss them. This GN is an example of how we've missed an opportunity to change things for a black person.
This is so interesting. About 2 months ago, I recorded a video about Ibrahim Traore. And I was like giving a warning to the people of Burkina Faso to say, it might happen that in 100 years, or maybe in 150 years, Ibrahim Traore is their last resort. Why? Because opportunity comes once in a lifetime. I agree with Advocate Sikhakhane. We keep on missing these opportunities. So every time we see an opportunity, we have a tendency of playing with that particular opportunity. That is why I was like, they have to protect Ibrahim Traore by all means, because it might happen that someone like Ibrahim Traore might come after 50 years, maybe after 100 years, if they don't use this opportunity accordingly. So same applies to us. Some people will remember 2024 as an opportunity that they should have used to rescue themselves or to deliver themselves from oppression. And I believe that 2024 was that opportunity. But unfortunately, that opportunity was missed. And you have to understand that if you miss an opportunity, then it might happen that 2029 is something else. It might happen that we might have to live in this system for a continuation of about maybe another 50 years, another 60 years, another 100 years, before we can have people who can say, we want to deliver you, we want to rescue you. I believe, I know some people might disagree with me. I accept that. But I believe that 2024 was that opportunity. But it seems as if we missed the signal. Opportunity comes once in a lifetime. So those who are smart, they often use those ways, that opportunity comes once in a lifetime. So if you don't use that particular opportunity, you might regret or you might find yourself in trouble. I totally agree with Advocate Sikhakhane. Sometimes God is like, this is an indication. Make use of this indication. But if we are not aware, other people might continue to suppress us.